The next chapter of Fortnite has already been leaked, and from a new map to something that could destroy live events forever, let's talk about the leaks for Fortnite Chapter 5 coming before next year. Less than a day ago, Sheena BR sent out a tweet saying that Chapter 4 is apparently ending after the 4th season, which means Chapter 5 launches at the end of 2023. This coincides with the assumption that from now on, we will get annual chapters instead of very long ones like Chapter 1 and 2. Now for many people, this might be seen as quite an exciting thing to be happening for the game. Every single year, Fortnite could now receive a huge graphic update, a massive live event, a new island, an entirely new weapon meta, and it all sounds very refreshing and hype, and whilst it does get me excited, after a while this pattern could destroy everything for the game. The special thing about chapters 1 and 2 of Fortnite is that they are truly iconic due to their length and memorable aspects. Think about it, whether you want to accept it or not, the two recent Fortnite chapters just haven't really been that special because they've been so short. We get something like a new map and new graphics like every year now, and it just feels like we're constantly waiting for the next big thing. Fortnite is one of the only games that has managed to keep a consistent fanbase for such an extended period of time. Other games that have been able to do this include Roblox and Minecraft as well, but Fortnite's ability to maintain hype whilst also being a live service game is very impressive. With Chapter 5 now most likely releasing in the later months of this year, that hype and interest will all quite possibly be killed right off for the community, and let me explain exactly why. If you played Fortnite back in Chapter 1, not only will you remember these guys and Dusty Depot and all the good memories, you will also know that no one had ever really expected Chapter 2 to even be a thing in the game. We all absolutely loved Fortnite how it was so fun and simple, and then we heard that we were getting a whole second chapter of it and everyone was amazed, and the hype was phenomenal and everyone was interested in the story, and the events and the storyline that led up to it was all very impressively planned out. It made sense, it was engaging for everyone, even the people who weren't that invested, and the build up around a whole new chapter of the game was just phenomenal. Then the time came around for a new chapter yet again. Chapter 2 Season 8 was building up to its finale, and people were beginning to make several theories about how Season 9 would go, but Season 9 never even happened that time. The reason that both of those chapters were so memorable is because they included amazing characters, fun events, and a huge twist of expectation that happened to take the internet by storm. I remember when all those videos were going around of the kids smashing their TVs just because they couldn't play Fortnite for 2 days. That is how attached to this game that we were. Everyone loved it. And that's because Chapter 1 was so easy to get attached to. We had Drift, Kevin the Cube, the Mech vs. Monster, the Visitor. Chapter 2 had Midas, Marvel characters like Galactus, Agent Jones, Dr. Sloan. And then Chapter 3 had the Origin and Columbo and the Imagined, I guess. And I will admit, those two first seasons were pretty good. But when we started getting into Season 3 and then Season 4, both of those just genuinely sucked. Like, they were embarrassingly bad for Fortnite. The summer event in Season 3 was barely even an event at all. Nothing even happened there, and then of course we have the Fracture event. Like, that's a live event, they managed to stuff up that bad, don't even get me started. And I guess I don't need to, because I know how everyone feels about it. Hype around new chapters, events, and live experiences is most definitely dying down, because although we do still get to see those things, they are nowhere near as frequent or exciting or well developed or even unpredictable. We know what's gonna happen. We know a new chapter is gonna show up every year, and I'm not even entirely convinced that we'll get a live event this season, but I'm really hoping we do. And whilst I don't entirely know how you guys feel about this topic, that's just my point of view, and I do believe it speaks for a lot of people. To many members of Fortnite's community right now, it really just seems like Epic pretends they're doing something amazing whenever we get bored with the game, then they just pretend everything's fine because, oh look, there's something new and you can forget about the awful stuff that we just had in a few weeks ago. Now before I go on, I know I'm gonna get some comments saying that you're so spoiled with the game and you expect too much, and whilst that most definitely does have some level of truth to it, Epic has also set a pretty high standard with past chapters and live events as well, so it's very normal for the game's community to expect things to either improve or at least stay at the quality that we are used to seeing. I know this is sort of a controversial topic, and I also know there's people who would love for new chapters every year, but my reasoning mainly comes down to the storyline of the game and what this all means for live events and the story moving forward. Now of course this small of an interest doesn't apply to everyone, it actually doesn't apply to that many people, but the reason that I love Chapter 2 was because of the story. The plotline was good and consistent. People were attached to characters like Midas. He tried to rebel against the Imagined Order and break the storm, and then Jones tried to rebelled against the Imagined Order, and then we worked with IO to defeat the Cube Queen, and it was all centered around those three factions, the Last Reality, the Seven, and the Imagined Order, which we cared about. Chapter 3 also started off reasonably strong as well, but the characters still aren't nearly as iconic like people like Dr. Sloan or Drift or Agent Jones. On the topic of storyline, I am also very interested to see how Epic Games plan on wrapping up this chapter in terms with what will happen to the island and where we will go from there. Many people theorize right now that the island is splitting apart due to cracks in the ground and earthquakes, so maybe during the downtime leading up to Chapter 5's release, we as the player are floating through space on a chunk of land and it's been split off from our previous island, or maybe we go over to the realm of the syndicates and play our games there. I would love to talk more about all of this, and I'd also be interested in hearing all of your guys' thoughts, so feel totally free to join my Discord through the link in the description, and you can message me there, or you can also comment on the video, and chances are I'll reply to you. Have a good one, subscribe to the channel, and let's hope Fortnite doesn't ruin what they had.